පුළුවන්ද?
Right.
හරිනේ?
Oh, yeah, it's working. Oh,
right okay.
right. Good evening to you all. Right. Let's get started. So today we are going to start our course, the accounting modeling, and you all are welcome to the subject. And in fact, we are having a quite different experience. So it is different from what we were used to do. And so during the first, I would say that first 2.5 years, we used to have some physical lectures, but with this, the corona pandemic, so we had to move into a kind of different modes of operation. And in fact, and that is going to be the future of learning. So welcome to distance learning. So today, basically what we thought of doing from the very beginning, so I'll be initially taking you through the course outline. And in the second half, what we expect to do, we'll be taking a brief introduction to accounting modeling. So therefore, if I'm to summarize what we'll be discussing today, so in the first half, we'll be looking at the course outline. I'll be taking you through the course outline. Then you will be familiar with the content, what you'll be learning, and the assessment, and also the expectation from you. And thereafter, brief introduction is provided as to what is accounting modeling. So it is pretty much needed for you to be aware of what you are going to learn throughout this course. So that is going to be the objective of today's discussion. And so when you have questions, the troubles, time to time, please let us know immediately, so then we can act accordingly, right? So the interaction is the most important thing. So you have to support with this respect. So when we are delivering the things, so if you are not getting anything, please let us know. Even something wrong with the screen sharing, so immediately, please let us know, right? So then we can ensure that you are get the required output in the required quality, right? So we want to ensure that you are getting a good quality product at the end of the day, right? So having said that, let me just take you through initially the general course information. So some of the important information. So all these informations are already uploaded to the LMS, and hope you will have downloaded the materials in advance, and you have this material on your hand as well. So this is accounting modeling, and we are offering this in the second semester, the third year second semester, we are offering this course. And so this is a compulsory course, and the course is 2 credit course. So from the beginning, so it's a 2 credit course. So therefore, we have planned our lectures for 2 hours. We are going by 2-hour lectures for a period of 15 weeks. So therefore, 2 hours into 15, that is 30 credit value. So 1 credit value is equal to 15 hours. So therefore, we'll be engaging direct interaction with you for 30 hours. But as far as this course is concerned, it would take like 90 hours or maybe 100 hours time, especially when it comes to your assessment. So we'll be doing some ongoing assessment in this course, which I'll be explaining later. And also when it comes to the practicing, so which is pretty much needed for a course like this. This is a very practical subject. So you'll get into that particular understanding later. So therefore, the practicing is pretty much needed. So when considering the practicing by yourself and the direct contact hours, and together with the assessment, so this course would be having like 100 notional hours, right? So, but we'll be having 30 hours of direct contact. So that's why we have mentioned 30 over here, right? And most importantly, when it comes to the delivery, so this course we have planned to deliver in a kind of hybrid way. So that is in the sense, we'll be taking the online discussions. So as we used to have today, so we'll be taking the online weekly discussion like we used to do today. Later, I'll be giving more information on that and the more specific information. And it is also supported by the video lectures. So from the week 2 onwards, so we'll be uploading the videos of the lecture, so which we'll be doing prior to the lecture, and at the time of the lecture beginning, we'll be uploading those video lectures. So then you will be having the access to that. So therefore, this course would be basically delivered through an online live platform as well as some pre-recorded lectures. So where will be uploaded on a weekly basis. So therefore, it's a kind of hybrid approach we are taking to deliver the required content. And then, so in order to learn this subject, it takes some prerequisites. The knowledge what you had gathered basically in the first 2.5 years, so would be of particular importance. So in this course, so it's a kind of consolidation of the knowledge what you had gathered in the previous course, and it's a consolidation and a application of the knowledge. So I would say, right? So later you would understand. So why do we claim so? So with the specific example which we'll be providing, but until such time, just have an idea that this course is about the application and the consolidation of the knowledge what you had gathered in the previous courses. So when it comes to be more specific, when it comes to this subject, it takes your knowledge on the ITC 1340, Introduction to Information Technology. Your knowledge on ICT is pretty much needed. And what you had learned in the first year, financial accounting, and the second year management accounting, as well as the computer-based accounting, the accounting information systems, and financial management. So more specifically, your knowledge on these areas would be pretty much important. So here we are going to apply those knowledge in a computerized environment with the support of a spreadsheet, advanced spreadsheet package. So that is what we are going to exercise in this particular course. Then let me come to an introduction for this course. So when it comes to this subject, this is a specialized course that introduces managing technologies and advanced spreadsheet programming in relation to financial accounting, management accounting, and financial management. So if I'm to just give a kind of idea about what this course is about, this course is all about programming the different accounting and financial functions. So the essence of this course is we are going to learn how to program the different accounting and financial functions. So if just to give you a kind of example for this, say for an example, if you take management accounting. So in the second year management accounting course, you have learned about the investment appraisal, especially using the techniques of net present value and the IRR. So you have learned how to do that in a manual environment. So in this particular course, what we are going to do is we are going to do a kind of investment appraisal, but in a computerized environment. And in a more structured way. Where it facilitates us for the manipulation. So compared to the way that you used to do that in a manual environment, you did not have the opportunity to manipulate. Manipulate in the sense, you could not change the information what is being given and see what would be the different NPV values that you would be getting. So that particular option was not there in a manual environment. But in a computerized environment, especially if you take a spreadsheet package like Excel, so you can it gives you the ability to manipulate. So you can change the inputs what you would take, like the investment that you make, the sales price, the cost information, and also the discounting factors. By changing all these things, you can see what would be the different outcomes that you are getting. So therefore, in essence, this course is about programming the different accounting functions. So therefore, NPV, net present value, is a kind of accounting function, right? Specific accounting function. So if I have to give you an example from a financial management, in financial management, probably you would have learned about how to prepare the loan amortization schedule, or you would have compute the installment of a particular loan given the information about a particular loan. So it is about the loan amortization, right? So in that particular case, we have used to do that in a manual environment. But in that manual environment, you could have worked out the loan installment for a given scenario. So if you want to change the given information, again, you had to work that out. So that was the difficulty that you would have faced when you're doing that in a manual way. But in a computer environment, that is not the case. So we are clearly identifying the inputs and some outputs, and we can simply change this input and get the different outputs. So it is the manipulation. So we are going to develop the financial management related accounting functions. And also, when it comes to the financial accounting, you would have prepared the financial statement for a given scenario. For a given business scenario, you would have prepared the financial statement. Again, so you could have produced one set of financial statement depending on the given information. But here, with the support of the spreadsheet package, the Excel, you could have produced several sets of financial statements. So I would say that in no time. So therefore, in essence, this course is all about programming the different accounting functions, accounting and financial accounting functions, right? So that is to have a rough idea. It also provides the theoretical and practical knowledge of database management systems to provide analytical competencies in the field of computerized database application in accounting. And also you would witness in time to come when you are going to work in this particular spreadsheet package, so you would be exposed to large-scale databases. In fact, you would be handling the databases with thousands of or 10,000s of records, right? So there would be having records of thousands of 2,000s of records would be there. So therefore, in a sense, you are going to learn how to handle the large-scale databases and also to slice and dice or analyze these different databases. So by analyzing these different databases, the large-scale databases, you'll be producing the expected results, the expected outcomes you would be producing. So therefore, in this course, you would get the knowledge to handle the large-scale databases. In fact, that particular knowledge is applicable in your work setting. So we know that almost all of you are undergoing internship. So therefore, you would be much familiar with this Excel application. So once you learn this advanced application, so it will definitely make your life easy. So you know in few minutes time how to handle or how to analyze these large-scale databases and get the required output. So therefore, that is another aspect which we'll be touching upon. With the view of enabling the distance learning, the lecture sessions will be delivered online. So as I said earlier, so we'll be going for a kind of hybrid approach. So the online lectures and also the online discussion, and we have the recorded lectures, right? So later I'll be giving more information on that. Then let me come to the course staff. So as far as this course is concerned, we are benefited by the lecturers who is having decades of experience, especially when it comes to this course. We have Dr. W.G.S. Callum. So he's having the senior lecturer from the Department of Accounting, and he's having nearly 2 decades of experience in spreadsheet packages. So even before the introduction of these Excel packages, so he used to teach the spreadsheet. So especially, if I'm not mistaken, that was the Lotus 123. So which was prior spreadsheet package. So which was the popular one before this Excel software comes, the Microsoft Office Excel. So even at that time, he was involving in teaching the accounting modeling. So therefore, we are privileged to have him in our course. And then we have the Dr. Kingsley Karunaratne. So he's a lecturer. He's a dynamic lecturer. He's from he's having expertise in different areas, especially when it comes to the financial accounting, the management accounting, and most importantly in auditing. So he's a subject expert. So who is having experience nearly 2 decades in teaching these courses, and he has joined with us to bring or kind of consolidate that particular knowledge and deliver that through a kind of computerized environment. So therefore, we are quite happy, and we are quite happy to have him in our lecture panel. And we have Mr. Samita Rodrigo. In fact, so he is the person who is working really hard. He's one of the persons who is really working hard to make this online experience a reality. So whatever the technical difficulties that we may come across, he's there to support us and to ensure we'll be delivering this course smoothly. So wherever, if you have any questions as to these online platforms or any other thing, so something to do with the technology, so you may keep in touch with him. So we have that technical expertise with us. And I'm Roshan Herat, so I'm privileged to coordinate this course, and I'm also involved in this subject for quite a period of time. And so this is in fact, so one of my teaching and learning interest, because this is very interactive, and also it gives us some particular skill. So therefore, I do enjoy in teaching and learning this subject. So when it comes to this lecture, we are going to deliver that in a kind of online platform, as I had mentioned earlier. So therefore, we are taking the virtual classroom and we'll make use of the LMS to the fullest. So we'll be uploading all the lecture materials, all the assessments, and also the video recordings to the LMS, and we'll be delivering in a virtual classroom. So you can learn from where you would stay. Then let me come to the course aims, course outcomes, and to have a look at the graduate attributes. Let me quickly take you through that. So that is also pretty much important. In the very first lecture, you need to know where you are heading towards. You need to have a kind of clear idea at the completion of this course, so what you are able to do. So therefore, I believe, so it is better to have a kind of understanding on the outcomes of this course. So let me first come to the course aim. As I said, the aim of this course is to enable students to use spreadsheet and its inbuilt function to develop different accounting models to be used in different organizational decision making, right? So this course is all about programming the different accounting and financial functions. More technically, we call it developing models. So in essence, what you are going to do throughout this course, you are going to gain the knowledge to program different business scenarios. As I explained earlier, so you are going to learn how to program the investment appraisal. So you may be setting the structure. So you may be identifying the inputs, output, and the processes. So that's what you, in essence, do. You are going to learn how to program the different business scenarios. So therefore, we call it This course is all about developing models to facilitate the decision making of different stakeholders. So it may be to facilitate your decision making, or sometimes you may be developing models to facilitate the decision making of different parties, right? So therefore, it is to facilitate the decision making of different stakeholders. The students will use their knowledge relating to financial accounting, management accounting, and financial management to develop variety of accounting models and to create reports for decision making. So again, it highlights the same thing. So it's about developing models to facilitate decision making. Then let me come to the learning outcomes, the specific learning outcomes. So in this course, we have identified, or we want to develop 5 learning outcomes. The first learning outcome, upon the completion of this course, we need you to demonstrate an understanding on the importance of spreadsheet in developing accounting related models, right? So far you may be using these spreadsheet packages, even you may be quite familiar with this Excel software, but remember, our focus is different, right? Our focus is different. So in fact, this is the particular area where the students go wrong, right? Since you know how to handle this Excel, then you think this course is about Excel, so there's nothing to learn in this accounting modeling. So that is the common misconception what we had experienced for a period of time, right? So if I'm to share this previous experience, the student used to think that since they know the spreadsheet, since they know this Excel, then they do not have to attend these lectures and get the required learning. And with that particular mindset, they had gone and set for the examination, and when it comes to the results, so it was totally unexpected. So in 1 or 2 years back, so we used to have lots of students who was just managed to have a D plus for this subject. I would say there were like 20 to 30 students. So that was the experience what we used to have. It is simply because of the misconception. You think this is about spreadsheet. This is about Excel. No, that is not the case. This course is clearly about developing accounting models using a spreadsheet. If you have the knowledge on a spreadsheet, for a given scenario, you may generate the answer. When you are given a question, in fact, you may generate the answer 100% correct. But you may not eligible for any mark. That's how it works. Here we are not looking at a particular answer. What we would require you to develop a model. In that sense, you clearly need to identify the inputs for a given business scenario. Then you need to clearly identify an output. Then in that output, you may apply the process, and thereby you may get the required result. That is the expectation. This is not about producing a correct answer. Yes, you may know how to handle these different functions, the inbuilt functions, which is there in the spreadsheet package, and you may generate the answer and you think, yes, we got the job done. No, that is not. We are not interested in the answer at all. We are not ready to allocate even 1 mark. All what we need, your knowledge, your competence on the model. So the essence of a model is the manipulation. So you must be in a position. So when you are given a particular scenario, the most crucial aspect is you should be able to manipulate the given data and get the different outcomes. So in order to do that, you must clearly identify what are the inputs of a particular business scenario and what must be the output. So therefore, we want you to demonstrate an understanding on the importance of a spreadsheet in developing accounting related models. So that is the
Prashant sir, can I add one point to your discussion, please?
yes, sir, sure.
Yes, now regarding the modeling, what we need to know now, these students need to develop a model Model mean it is going to be the structure which helps the user to manipulate the information. At the end of the day, by using the few variables,
Yes.
user need to generate various scenarios, various outcomes based on the few changes. So that is what we are looking here,
Yeah.
rather than, as you mentioned very clearly, rather than getting a fixed answer. Fixed answer is not what we are looking for. Whether the student can develop something called model, that model can be used by the user to manipulating the information and getting various scenarios and result. So that comes with the modeling. So that's why they need to be very, very careful. Models are structured items whereby the manipulation can be done with the variables only. So once the one or two variables change by the user, we need to get the whole scenario outcomes. That means what we are telling about the outcomes or the result need to be changed.
Yeah.
So that they need to keep in their mind when they are doing these activities. So that's what I want to highlight at the moment. You can carry on.
Yes, thank you very much, sir. Yes, very correct. Emphasized by the sir. So that was purely depending on the experience what we used to have. So this is all about your knowledge on accounting modeling, right? So therefore, we are not interested in a particular answer. We are repeatedly saying, and it was further emphasized by Dr. Callum, right? So take this very serious. So please be adhere to that particular requirement, right? Good. Then we are moving to the second learning outcome. It's about analyze a given scenario and develop accounting models using a spreadsheet and its inbuilt function. So you would be exposed to different business scenarios, you would be exposed. So for these different scenarios, you must be able to develop models using the built function. Like if you are given an information about a particular loan, you must be in a position to come up with a loan amortization schedule. So you may clearly identify the inputs, that is in the sense, what must be the loan period, what must be the loan amount, so what must be the applicable interest rate. So this is what we call the inputs. By using that, you may generate a loan amortization schedule. So similarly, you can think of the NPV appraisal, doing sensitivity analysis, so the production plan, things as such, right? So we'll be taking you through one by one. Then most importantly, upon the development of a particular model, so it is pretty much important to ensure that the model is working properly. The model is working properly under the different circumstances. So therefore, accuracy is of utmost importance. So we would expect you to make use of different audit tools that is available in this spreadsheet package and to ensure the accuracy of the model. The model is error-free. You need to ensure that pretty much important. So having identified that, so this is one of the learning outcomes that we expect to develop in you. So having developed a particular model, so you may be able to ensure the accuracy. Then you should develop financial statement using spreadsheet built-in functions to enable informed decision making. So as far as the financial reporting is concerned, so our ultimate output is going to be the financial statements. So in this course, you're going to learn how to prepare how to develop a model as to the preparation of financial statement. So you'll be learn how to prepare the statement of profit or loss, statement of changes in equity, and a statement of financial position. In fact, that is going to be one of your case studies. So it would carry some marks. I'll be explaining later. You're going to learn how to develop the financial statement using the different functions that is being available in this particular software. Then you should be able to appreciate critically the contemporary issues and needs of business environment and generate accounting models to support such business scenario. You know, this particular course does not confine to what you would learn, right? So you are working in a practical environment. So therefore, you may come across different business scenarios. You may come across different business scenarios. So that would be the contemporary issues what you would come across. So therefore, by using the knowledge, what you would gather throughout this course, you are supposed to develop accounting models to get the desired result to achieve the objectives under these different business scenarios. So therefore, this is a kind of lifelong skill what we would expect to develop in you. So you must be able to apply this knowledge for whatever the business circumstance and produce the expected results. So it is something that is requested by your managers, your supervisors. They would request and they would give you some business scenarios. They would expose you and you would be asked to come up with a solution. Then you must be in a position to apply your accounting modeling knowledge and solve the problems. So that is a lifelong skill what we want to embed in you, right? So thereafter we would recognize the graduate attributes. It is something that you can leisurely read. So this is something that we expect upon the completion of the degree. So these are the attributes that we would expect. And also we have identified what is our contribution. Our contribution in the sense, what is the contribution of accounting modeling towards each of these graduate attributes. So we have done a kind of matching. You can leisurely study that. Then let us come to the learning resources. In this course, basically, the lecture materials will be uploading on a weekly basis to the LMS. And that is going to be your primary point of reference. You may go to the LMS, the lecture materials are available, you may make use of that. And also, in this LMS, we'll make available the activities. So in this course, we have planned several activities to be given to you. So because this is a very practical subject, so depending on that, so we'll be uploading some class activities as well as some case studies as well. So we'll be uploading that as it is indicated in the course outline. So later we may have a great look at this, right? Then you can read further on this subject. So we have recommended 2 texts. So you can, so in fact, these books you can access through the library, the university library, as well as, so you can access that easily by the online. So if you go to online, so if you go to internet, you can simply type these things and you know how to get these books downloaded. So therefore, make sure to get them downloaded and circulate that among your group, and you may study that further. Then we come to the learning resources. So we have our lecture panel, and we are available for you. So whatever the technical problems, so whatever the learning aid that you would require, so we are more than happy to help you. So therefore, please ensure, so whatever the question that you would come across, so you can contact the required person. So here we have given, here I have given the email address of all the lecturers. So you may take note of this, and when and where the questions that may come across, you can email and get the things clarified, right? You can get the things clarified through emails, because these days we are not going to appear in a kind of physically, because of this current situation. So once the current situation is vanished, so we can even have a kind of interaction physically. But until such time, better to have the interaction through emails. Then the course website, that is the most important thing. So you are expected to visit this LMS, so at least 2 times a week. So it is your responsibility. So please keep yourself updated with whatever the materials that we will make available there. Not only the lecture materials, but maybe the assessments as well. So you would be having several assessments in this course. Later I'll be explaining on that. And so you need to be quite up to date yourself with the LMS. So the class activities, case studies, the learning resources, the video recordings, everything we make available through the LMS. So make sure you keep in touch with that. Then let me come to the most important aspect. It's about the learning and teaching activities. So you need to know what would be the content that you will be getting throughout this course, as well as the delivery, and I'll be talking about the assessment as well, right? Okay, so here I have given the weekly plan. So this course is basically planned for 13 weeks, but so depending on the time that we have, we'll try to go for all the 15 weeks if possible, right? But so we have initially planned this for 13 weeks time, right? So then week one, so it is the week what we are in. Today, basically what we are going to do, we'll be giving you a kind of introduction to accounting modeling. Introduction to accounting modeling would be discussed in the today's session. So if permit, I have thought of touching on the spreadsheet principles and auditing tools, but I do not believe that. So depending on the time that has gone, so we'll restrict just to an introduction to accounting modeling. Then in the week 2, we'll be taking the spreadsheet principles and auditing tools. Before I come to that, here let me mention the delivery. So in the delivery today, we are having the online lecture. So today we are having a live session. So therefore we are having the online lecture today. And after the today's session, so we'll be uploading the video recording of the lecture as well. So we'll be taking this particular session recorded. So those who could not participate, so they can benefit out of that. The video recording of the lecture would be immediately uploaded. And as far as the introduction is concerned, there are no assessments as well. Then in week 2, we are going to discuss about one of the key theoretical aspects in this accounting modeling. It's about the spreadsheet principles and auditing tools. So we'll be putting some strong theoretical foundation, so which is pretty much needed throughout this course. So that is the second class discussion. So in that, if you look at the content, we'll be giving some introduction to the spreadsheet model design. So in fact, we'll be discussing about several principles. So this course is all about developing the accounting models, the programming different accounting functions. In that, you have to develop these models in adherence to the different model development principles. So therefore, we'll be taking you through the different model development principles which you are supposed to apply in each of the given scenarios. So whatever the model that you are going to develop, this fundamentals has to be there. So therefore, it is pretty much important throughout the course. So that is our second day discussion. And in that, we'll be taking you through those principles and different kinds of problems that you would likely to encounter. We call it different types of errors. We'll be explaining and how to overcome those errors, and also how to apply the auditing tools. So that is in the sense, having developed a particular model, how you would ensure that so it is error free. So those are some of the basic aspects. So before you move on to the development of model, you need to be aware of what are the principles that you need to apply, and what are the errors that you can come across, and how to overcome those errors, and how to ensure that your model is error free. And those content is what we expect to deliver in week 2. And when it comes to this week 2 lecture, we are not going to have an online lecture on that. As it is very clearly mentioned, you can see that we are going to make use of the video recording of the lecture. So when you come to the next class, in the next class, at the usual time, there would be a recorded lecture. So there won't be any interactive sessions, right? There won't be any interactive session. So therefore, in the next class, we are not going to meet throughout this online platform. Instead, the video recording is made available. You have to go through that and you have to study that leisurely, right? Then, depending on the discussion what we'll be having, I will upload some class activities. So, having studied the video recording of the lecture, you are supposed to try out these activities. So, in the next week, I'll be uploading some activities as well. And you are expected to work out those activities within 1 week's time. So therefore, the week after next, we'll be having online discussion, right? So it's not going to be necessarily a lecture, but it is online discussion based on the week 2 lecture. In the week 2, we are not going to have online discussion. So this is applicable for the week after next, right? This is applicable for the next week. But in the week 2, you only have the video recording of the lecture. But I will be giving some class activities which you are supposed to try. Then that would be discussed in the next class. So therefore, in week 3 onwards, we'll be having online presence. We'll be having online presence, right? දරුවෝ අපි අද දවසේ දැන් online lecture එක යනවා. මේකේ video recording එක lecture එක ඉවරනාට පස්සේ අපි upload කරනවා. ඒතර week 2 එකේ අපි online discussion එකක් යන්නේ නැහැ. ඒතර week 2 එකේ අපි කරන්නේ video recording එකක් තමයි upload කරන්නේ next week එකේ. So next week එකේ අපි මේ time එකට හම්බෙන්නේ නැහැ. Next week එකට විතරක්. Right? මොකද activities try out කරන්න කාලයක් අවශ්‍යයිනේ. අපි මේ video recording එකත් එක්කම activities ටිකක් මේ second topic එකට අදාළව upload කරනවා. ඒතර පුතාලා මේ activities ටික try out කරන්න ඕන week එකක් වගේ අරගෙන එතකොට third week එකේ අපි හම් වෙනවා most of the time it may be 1 hour and 1.5 hours time online discussion. Online discussion එක මොකක්ද? ඔයාලා මේ questions work out කරද්දී ඔයාලට ආව ප්‍රශ්න සහ මේකට නිවැරදි answer එක මොකක්ද කියන එක verify කර ගැනීමක් තමයි එතන සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ. In that particular case, the thing is, the challenge, what you'll be having that, you need to engage in these activities. That is pretty much needed. Why is that? Because from the third week onwards, we are going to request to share your screen. That's what we are going to do. Because in this course, the practical exercise is pretty much needed because this is a very practical subject. So therefore, having understand the particular nature of this subject, what we thought of engaging with you. So we need a kind of high interaction. Then how we are to ensure that? So we'll be giving you the activities, then you are supposed to try that out. On the third week onwards, you are supposed to share your screen upon the request. So from the name list, we are going to request the different students, and upon the request, so you have to share your screen and show the answer. So therefore, this is something pretty much important. So we really care about this aspect. You have to take this quite serious, right? එතකොට අපි මේ course එකේ plan කරනවා class activities. එතකොට අපිට මේක ගොඩක් practical subject එකක්. ඒ නිසා අපිට අවශ්‍ය වෙනවා interaction එකක්. එතනදී අපිට අවශ්‍ය වෙනවා පුතාලා මේ activities ටික work out කරන්න weekly basis එක. එතකොට week 3 එකේ ඉඳලා අපි online discussions යනවා. එතකොට අපි week 3 එකේදී පුතාලා කීප දෙනෙක් නම් කරලා කියනවා අපිට screen එක share කරලා ඔයාගේ answer එක පෙන්වන්න කියලා. එතකොට මේ answer එක පෙන්වන්න සිද්ධ වෙනවා, right? So you have to take that serious, and that is something what we expect from you. So that is to ensure that you get the required learning. Then on week 3, so as usual, we are going to have the video recording. So we'll be uploading the pre-recorded lectures on a weekly basis. But on the regular lecture time, we are meeting for an online discussion. So in week 3, we are having the week 2 activity discussion. So week 4, we are having week 3 activity discussion. That's how it goes, right? Then let me come to the week 3. So when it comes to the week 3, basically, you are going to learn about some of the important tools that is available in this spreadsheet package. In this spreadsheet package, so there are different tools are available. In fact, once you learn about these tools, you can add some glamour to the different models what you will be developing. So you may witness that, right? So this is going to be some marvelous set of tools what you would be exposed to. So these different tools would help to add some glamour to the different models what you will be developing. So therefore this topic, the week 3 discussion, is going to be a pretty much important thing. In fact, depending on that importance, we have planned to have our first class activity on that. What is that? That is going to be our first assessment, where you can earn like 4 marks. You'll be given 4 marks for that. So in the week 3, we'll be uploading the video recording as well as some class activities to be tried out. And also we are having something called first class activity. So it is in fact a particular activity that we will ask you to work out and upload that to the given link in the LMS, so where you would be assessed. So when it comes to the week 3, you'll be having your first activity, so where you'll be eligible for some marks. So in fact we have allocated 4 marks, 4 to 5 marks for the class activities. The first activity will account for 4 marks. So you'll be given a period of 3 days time upon the completion of this lecture. So within that period of time, you are supposed to try that out, and we'll be making available a link in the LMS, and you are supposed to upload that to the LMS, right? So that's how it goes, and further details would be provided at the time of this particular lecture. So we are meeting for the online discussion. In that, I'll be giving you more information on that, right? Okay. Then we have week 4. When it comes to the week 4, we are going to discuss about the spreadsheet decision logics. So in fact, this is built on what you had learned in your first year. So in the first year, you had some course, so that is an IT course, where you were exposed to some of the functions that is available in the Excel. So there you would have probably learned about the basic if functions, and if permit, some compound conditions like O, N, things as such. But here, building on that, we are going for some advanced application where you haven't experienced before, like sum ifs, average ifs, count ifs, things as such. So these are some of the knowledge that you may be gathering only throughout this course. So we are going to handle some large scale databases where you would be having like thousands of 2000s of record. You are going to apply these different functions and get the requested output, right? So that is what our discussion would be on week 4 and 5. So depending on the importance, in fact, we have allocated 2 weeks for that. So again, the video recording of the lecture would be uploaded in the relevant week, and also we are having the online discussion. So when we come to the week 4, the online discussion would be based on the week 3 activities. And also, depending on the importance, we have planned for the second class activity here. So week 3 you have assessment, week 4 you have assessment, again that is for 4 marks, right? Then on week 5, upon the completion of the whole lecture, so based on that, a comprehensive activity would be there. So that is going to be class activity 3, another 4 marks. So therefore you will be earning 12 marks when you come to week 5, right? Then we are moving on to week 6. It's about the financial functions. Again, something that you have learned prior, especially in your financial management courses and accounting courses. But here, what you're going to do is you are going to use it in a more computerized environment. In a computerized environment, you are going to apply that. So especially the loan amortization schedules, the depreciation functions, the different depreciation methods, and the investment appraisal, IRR, NPV, those applications will be discussed in week 6. Upon the completion of week 6, from what you had learned in the first 6 weeks, we are going to test it in a case study. You are having your first case study at the completion of the 6th lecture. The case study would be based on what you had learned up until the 6th week. So therefore, your knowledge on important tools, your knowledge on decision logics, and also your knowledge on financial functions can be tested. And that's going to be for 10 marks. So later I'll be giving more information about the assessment, but just to give you a kind of idea, right? Together with the course outline. Again, the same method goes on. So the video recording would be there. Online discussion for the week 5 is there. Then we are moving to the week 7. Again, another important tools that you are going to learn. So it is about the lookup functions, the different lookup functions. So as far as this lookup functions is concerned, it's a particular tool that would help to extract the information from a large scale database. So if I am to tell you the functionality, what it is capable of doing, so it will extract the information from a large scale database and it will give you the desired result. So in that, VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, and lookup functions would be learned. And also you are going to learn how to prepare the complete set of financial statement using your knowledge on lookup functions. So there would be video lectures and the online discussion, as I said. And upon the completion of week 8, so depending on the importance, we have allocated 2 weeks for that. The lookups will go for 2 weeks. And upon the completion of the 8th week, we are going to have our second case study. In fact, that is going to be the development of complete set of financial statement using your knowledge on lookup function. Again, another 10 marks can be earned there. Another 10 marks. So therefore, for the case studies, so far you have earned 20 marks. For the class activities, you have earned 12 marks. Then moving on to the week 9. In week 9, we'll be discussing about the sensitivity analysis. So this is also pretty much important. So far, you've been developing different models and you are generating different outcomes. But from this point onwards, you are going to have some idea about the sensitivity. So in that, we are taking on 4 specific tools. I would say the one-way data table, two-way data table, goal seek command, and scenario manager. In each of this, so it would offer different functionality. So when it comes to the one-way data table, so if you are to apply that to a particular model, you can see what would be the impact that a particular variable would be having on the output. So for an example, if you had developed a model to calculate the profit for a given scenario, if the sales price change, what is the impact that it has on the profit? So that is a one-way data table. Two-way data table, you can see the impact on the profit. So by looking at a simultaneous change in 2 variables, so which may not be practicable even for a manual environment. By using the capabilities of the software, you can simultaneously change 2 variables and you can see what is the impact that it has on the output. Then the goal seek command, again, so if you specify a particular output, so you may see what would be the change that it can be there in a particular input. So it is other way around to one-way data table and two-way data table. And also the scenario manager. So when it comes to the scenario manager, you can simultaneously change like 32 variables at once. By changing 32 variables at once in a model, you can see what is the impact that it has on the output, maybe on the profit. You can change up to 32 variables in a model and see what is the impact on the profit. So it may not be even think of in a manual way. So that is about the week 9 discussion. So the video recording is there and followed by the online discussion in the next week. In that, depending on the importance, we have planned the 4th class activity. So another 4 marks you can earn in week 9. Then we are moving on to the week 10. Again, another important application. So when it comes to this week 10, we are going to discuss about another important tool that is available in the Excel. We call it Excel Solver. So as far as this solver is concerned, it can be of different application, especially the limiting factor analysis. So likewise, optimizing the product mix. So deciding on an appropriate production plan. So subject to the given constraint. So you can apply the solver. And also how to plan the kind of transportation of a particular organization, and how to schedule the kind of workforce, and also how to decide on the projects that is to be accepted. So the capital budgeting decision. These are some of the different applications of this solver tool. Again, pretty much important one. You may never experience something like this in any other place. So therefore, this is quite value adding. There would be video lectures and followed by online discussion. And depending on the importance, we have planned the 5th class activity as well. Then we have the macro. It is a kind of, you're going to learn how to automate a repetitive kind of task. So here you'll be giving a kind of real life examples and the real life experience by exposing you to that such kind of experience. So you'll be exposed to the basic macros. So it is in essence how to automate a repetitive kind of task. So therefore, in your work organization, so once you learn about these macros, you can apply this particular knowledge and you can make your life easy. So the video recordings are there, followed by the online discussion. Then on week 13, we have dedicated that for a kind of revision session. In fact, we have planned for a discussion of some past paper questions. Some important past paper questions could be taken on to discussion, and the video recordings is uploaded and online discussion. So that's how we have planned our learning and teaching. Yes, I would like to hear you. So if you have any question, any clarification on what I had discussed so far, yes, would like to answer you. මේ දක්වා කතා කරපු ඒ වගේ මොනවා ප්‍රශ්න තියෙන පුළුවන් පුතාලට පැහැදිලි කර ගැනීමක් අවශ්‍ය නම් පැහැදිලි වෙච්ච නැති තැනක් තියෙනවා නම් කියන්න අපි ඒක පැහැදිලි කරගෙන ඉස්සරහට යමු. Any clarification is needed?
Yeah, I think they need to ask questions definitely, because they can raise their hands, then we can allow them to on their mics and talk to us, so then we can clarify it. And also it is very important then to understand what we are going to do and how we are going to do. As you mentioned very correctly, video recording followed by the online discussion will be 1 hour. So that will be scheduling most probably 7:30 to 8:30. So all the students can participate at that time, because you will be there at home at that time, or from your workplace even you can join us. And this is the MS Excel what we are discussing. Each and everyone's having the computers, having this software package, whereby no issue of practicing these activities what we are going to upload into the system, and they can earn their marks very easily by doing the activities, and also participate in all these discussions in live manner. That gives them a very good experience and the new platform of learning environment. That's why it is very, very important our students to make sure that they are participating with us. They can raise the hand, then we can call their names, and they can on the mic and they can talk. We are very flexible, and any time when we are discussing any topic, you can stop at any time. So you can stop us, and then you can ask your clarification, so that thereby we can answer your questions. Mixture of discussion of lecture, mixture of answering the questions, and also all these question and answers are available. And meantime, today we want to take your feedback as well, so everyone can post your comments, your concerns into that LMS today. After finishing this discussion, you can put that message to our feedback form, and whereby we can easily answer your questions, and we can improve our lecturing method from the next week sessions. Okay, so we'll go ahead.
Kelvin sir, there's a question, sir.
Yeah.
The students had raised that they asked that can we delay the start time of the lectures? So as they are,
So we will be starting the online discussion 7:30 from next week.
Yeah,
but
right.
Because the video recording are available for them early, so they can download the video recording most probably we will be uploading the video recording by this Friday, right, sir?
Yes.
So then
Yes.
they have plenty of time. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They got Monday, and we are going to have a discussion of that particular activities on Tuesdays. Tuesdays at 7:30.
Yeah,
So
sir, one
we have
correction,
plenty
sir.
of time to practice.
This week we are not going to have the kind of online discussion. From the next week onwards, sir. So
So
this week,
Lakshita want to speak. We can allow her to speak, no? Yes, Pita? Yeah. You can ask your question.
yeah. Yes, you can raise the question. Yes.
Lakshita, you can ask the question, or the Puni, you can on your mic and talk.
Lakshita, can you please go ahead?
We can't hear you. Any problem, Lakshita?
Kisi sir, do we have to allow him? No, I believe that they can talk, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I have given him the permission, and I think mic is now on.
Yeah.
Only thing Lakshit is not talking, I think.
Yeah.
Lakshita, you have a question, please? If you raise the hand, we will on your mic. Then, meantime, you can ask the question. Don't raise the hand without asking the question. So that will disturb the lecture. So if you have any clarification to get at the time of the lecture, please ask. Then after a certain amount of discussion, we will allow everyone to ask the questions. We will give 5-10 minutes. Then we will allow you to on your mic and talk. It's better to talk rather than typing something and forwarding it to us.
Yeah.
So that we can on and there we can finish that discussion immediately. So if you don't have the questions, then sir, we can continue. No? We will go ahead.
Yeah.
I think Lakshit is now saying that he's talking, but there's a technical problem, right?
Yeah.
Right. So he can post the message, no, sir?
Yeah,
He
yeah.
can send the chat version message, then we can read and answer his question.
Yeah. If you if there's a technical problem, you better type your message, right? Then we can respond.
Can you type the message, then we can look at that and answer your question.
So Lakshita, you may type and we may answer that, right? Okay. So likewise, others, you may try to speak out. So if something goes wrong, then you may type that and communicate that to us.
Yeah. The question is, when the video lectures are uploaded, can they be viewed at any? Yes, you can download. You can download, save it, and keep, and you can look at nicely that, and you can stop at any time. That particular video, you can learn. All the activities are shown in that particular video, so it's much more convenient than this kind of online lecturing. So it will be plenty of time. You can repeat it and see. You can download and keep. So it will be taking a little bit of the I think the data for downloading. Then you can save that in a pen drive, and anytime you want, you can play that video. So that's the kind of video we are going to send.
Yeah, in fact, we are uploading it like a YouTube video. So therefore, if you subscribe for a kind of data package, the YouTube package for like 249 for the entire month, so you can have unlimited streaming, right? So we'll be uploading it like the YouTube videos. So you can download that and you can refer that, right? And from next week,
class discussion will start at 7:30.
Yeah,
7:30. Next week we don't have discussion. We don't have live discussion next week. We will be uploading the video. Then you are given a time to do some activities, and then from the third week we will be having every day 7:30 to 8:30 1 hour discussion. It may go longer, depending on your request and your questions. We required some time, so we will do like that.
Yes. So likewise, yes, we like to have more interaction like that. So whatever question that you have, you may get them clarified to the fullest. So then it will contribute for a good learning experience, right? So
thank you asking that questions and posting all your comments. That is very, very important for us to know, and then to make sure that the subject is going to absorb by you, because this is a live subject and it is very important for your practical at the moment where you are working. Most of the people are using Excel. It's a powerful tool for analyzing, data filtering, all these important features we'll be teaching you in this particular subject will give you a good situation in your working environment.
Yeah, in fact, so as far as the previous experience is concerned, that so we have good feedback from you. So from your previous batches, so they were really successful and by making use of these techniques. So in the workplace, so they were quite happy with the experience what they used to have. So therefore,
And,
we believe
and
that
also, sir, based on their feedback, this course will come for the next batch as a 3 credit course. It's
yes,
extended with the period because it's very, very vital and important subject for everyone.
yeah.
So that was given more credit next time, not for you, but for the others.
Yes, from the experience, yes, the students used to have, so they have indicated, so this is going for like 3 credit course, right? So that is the level of importance of this subject. In fact, so if you attend the lecture, so if you follow these video recordings properly, and if you attend this online discussion, so we are quite sure that, so you're going to be expert on this subject. So we are there to support you, and you'll be there. Good. Yes, there's a question that what form of online discussion we are going to have. So it's like this, Puta. So as I said, so from the week 2 onwards, we are uploading some class activities. So that is going to be several activities which you are supposed to try. So you may try, let's say that 4 to 5 activities. You may initially try that using a period of 1 week. So then when you come to the third week, so depending on the things what you had learned in the second week, we are having that online discussion. In that online discussion, basically what we are going to do is, we are going to check the accuracy of the answers what you had generated. So in that, we'll be requesting you to share your answer. So we'll be asking several students, then upon the request, you are supposed to share your answer on the screen. So then, depending on that, so we'll be showing you, or even we'll be working out the correct answer. Then you can make yourself aware that what is the correct answer for this situation and how to apply that particular model, or how to develop that particular model properly. Because as we repeatedly said, this is not something to do with the answer, but something to do with the model. So it is the key thing is the manipulation. So it must allow the manipulation. So therefore,
Yes, Prashant, also they need to have the Excel open at that time.
Yeah.
Everyone need to do the activities in Excel worksheet, and they need to open up the Excel worksheet and keep in your screens when we are doing the lecture.
Yeah.
And meantime, when we ask you to share the screen, then you have to share the Excel screen.
Yes.
Because that's the one we are going to discuss.
Yeah.
So the answers what you generated, as mentioned very correctly, we will cross-check whether your answers are correct. Otherwise, there is no other option to check your answers. When you are in the live lecture, we will go around and talk to you individually and check in your answers. But in this situation, we don't have that option, and you cannot forward all these answers to us. We don't have time to check. So regularly, we will check few people to share the screen. First, we will give the opportunity to people who are willing to come forward and show your screens. Then if the people are not willing to show, then we will call upon your names or the ID numbers, whereby you will show your answers to us. Then we will discuss the correct answer for these questions. So you will be having the correct answers later on, because that discussion also going to be recorded.
Yeah. So that's how we are expecting to carry out this online discussions. Yes, and
yeah, the attendance, yes, the attendance we will mark, but we are not going to concern that for marking or concern that for stopping you for the examination. So the people who are not coming, our experience, people who are not attending, they will get fail mark or they will get the maximum of C.
Yeah.
So you cannot get a good grade. That is the only problem, because they sometimes they think they can do it. As mentioned earlier, this is Excel, I can do that. But we are not talking about Excel. We are talking about the modeling. So how you use this knowledge to develop a certain model which will help the user to manipulate the information. So that is the discussion. We don't worried about your answer. We are looking for your formulas what you have created to generate that answer. So the marks are given not for the answer, for the perfect formulas you develop, inbuilt formulas as well as your own formulas you develop to manipulate and get the result from the given scenario. So that is the situation of questions we are asking.
Yeah. Yes, there are other question that any other software that it takes. No. So it is
So
purely
they
based
can,
on.
so they can download these open source Excel packages. What is available? Spreadsheet packages, open source spreadsheet package. It's
uh,
freely available. They
mm,
can download. They can do the same activities. No problem.
yeah.
Yeah, not only the Excel.
If you do not have access to this MS Excel, then you may download an open
Open
source
source spreadsheet
spreadsheet
package. Yes.
package. You can download that. Basically, this is something to do with the spreadsheet package. Nothing other
Yes,
than
correct.
that. This is
Correct.
something to
Because
do with
all the formulas what we are going to talk in the MS Excel is available in the open source softwares as well,
yeah.
whereby you can do that. There can be little bit slight differences. Then in that case, you can communicate to us. Then we will check that and let you know how to do it.
Yeah. And as far as the attendance is concerned, from the week 3 onwards, so we are going to ask you to initially register. So for the today, we have simply allow you the open access, and from the week 3 onwards, so we need to have some record on your attendance. So in order to ensure that, so what we have planned, we are allowing, we'll be asking you to register, and there you make use of your first name, last name, and so I may be circulating an email by specifying the requirement. So then you may be registering yourself and come to the lecture. So therefore, then we can get a report on your attendance on that, right? So that's how we are going to take care of the attendance, because we have to go by the policies of the faculty. So we need to maintain that 80% attendance requirement. So we may be taking that particular aspect taken care of. So that is for the, we need to go by the rules and regulations that is being formulated. So in order to comply with that, we'll be doing that accordingly. More information would be given to you through the emails. So through the LMS, I'll be communicating the detailed information on that, right? So likewise, yes, whatever the concerns that you may have, you better bring those concerns, so it will enlighten the whole group, right? So thank you very much for the interaction that you had provided. Right, so there is a little more to go. So let me quickly take you through that as well. So mainly I need to discuss about one main thing. It is about the assessment. So in fact, I have just taken you through, but let me little brief on that, and thereafter we may go to the introduction on accounting modeling, right? Okay, so as far as this assessment is concerned, as you had witnessed earlier, you had 5 class activities. You had 5 class activities, each will account for 4 marks, that is into 5, so that is going to be 20 marks. As far as these class activities are concerned, the class activities are individual take-home exercises. That is the good thing. So together with the video recording, so we'll be uploading the class activities. So we'll be specific. So we are also uploading the activities that you need to try. Apart from that, in the weeks where we have the class activity for assessment, we are specifically mentioning and uploading that, and we give you some time to try. So in fact, that particular time period is going to be 3 days. So after uploading this lecture, we'll be giving you 3 days to try these activities out. So you need to try this within 3 days time, and more detailed information is given when and where these class activities are held, and you need to upload these class activities to the given link in the LMS. So in the relevant weeks, we'll be creating an upload link, and you are supposed to upload the class activities using the given link. Then we'll be assessed, and the marks would be given to you. Most probably within 1 week's time, we'll be able to declare the marks. So that is how we used to do in the past. So therefore, upon the completion of each activity, we'll be updating your marks, and we'll be showing your marks through the LMS. So that's how these class activities are going to take place. So therefore, it is not such a burden. So you can do it in a free environment. You can take home, these are take home exercises. So you have even 3 days time to try that and do that and upload them properly. Then the case studies, as you have witnessed in the learning activities earlier as well. So we have planned 2 case studies. One case study is based on the things what you learn up until the week 6. So that is in the sense, when come to the core content, there you would be having, you would be tested on the decision logics, the financial functions, and the important tools. That is the first case study, where it will account for 10 marks. The second case study, it's about the preparation of financial statement. using your knowledge on lookup functions. Each case study will account for 10 marks, that is into 2, so it is 20 marks. And as far as these case studies are concerned, we believe that it takes some time. So therefore, we have planned to allow 1 week's time to attempt that. Upon uploading these case studies, we'll be giving you the specific details, specific instructions would be provided there. In that, one of the conditions would be you need to complete this within 1 week's time. So for the case studies, we are allowing 1 week time. For the class activities, we are allowing 3 days time. That's how we have planned the things. So accordingly, in this course, for the continuous assessments, we have allocated 40 marks. So when you're going for the finals, you can earn a pass mark when you go for that. So if you do the things perfectly, so probably you'll be making more than 35% out of 40. So that's what our experience. Those who had attended the regular lectures and those who had done the works accordingly, so they have excelled in their studies. So even they have gone for a good grade. And the final examination, accordingly, account for 60 marks. So as far as the final examination is concerned, so it's going to be a kind of 2-hour paper, 2-hour question paper you'll be given. So since this is a 2-credit course, we are going by 2-hour paper. So in that, there would be like 5 questions. So it's a closed book examination. You are supposed to try that in a computerized environment. So it will account for 60 marks. So that's how the final exam is expected to be carried out. So I believe that this is the most important aspect from your point of view, because it's all about the assessment at the end of the day. Now you have a kind of clear idea about how these assessments are carried out. And when it comes to our previous experience, as far as this assessment is concerned, there are several students who cannot produce the activities on time and also the case studies on time. That is what the experience what we used to have with several students in the past. But we need to tell you from the very beginning that we are not going to tolerate any of the late submission. We have this much of time to explain the requirement, right? So we have taken this much of time to explain you very clearly the requirement, what we want. So therefore, we are not ready to tolerate the late submission. So in that sense, so if you cannot produce the things on time, so probably it will lead for 0 marks. So if it is a class activity, if you can't deliver within the stipulated period of time, you would be eligible for 0 marks. None of the excuses would be accepted, because very clearly on the very first day, we have mentioned when and where you will be having the class activities and how you are supposed to send the class activities for us. So how to upload this to the LMS, all these information are given. Even the case studies, it is strictly 1 week time. So we are not going to tolerate any of the late submission. So we can't do that. So we are quite flexible with the way things are going on. So, but as far as this assessment is concerned, we can't be flexible on that. So we have to adhere to the strict guidelines and the rules that is being formulated by the FMSC, and we are maintaining that. So make sure you are submitting the things on time. So you are come up with various excuses, the work commitments, the family commitment, different things. Sorry, we can't accept that. So it is a kind of message from the very beginning, but we want to communicate. Thereafter, we have done a kind of constructive alignment of the learning outcomes, the teaching learning assessment. You can freely read this and you can be aware of that. Then as far as the course policy is concerned, one thing I again would like to highlight, it is about the course attendance. So as I said earlier, so today we have simply allowed you to come and participate in the session, but from the week 3 onwards, we'll be having the kind of registration requirement. You need to register for this session and you need to come produce your details. So therefore, we are maintaining an attendance record. So in that, make sure that you are maintaining at least 80% attendance. So in fact, we have what made us to make this a kind of rule, because the previous experiences. So because of the common misconception, so having thought that this particular course is about the Excel. So we are quite expert in this particular area, and you have come to the exam and you have performed really, really bad. That is in the sense you would have produced the answer, but the knowledge on modeling is not there. So therefore you were eligible for a lower grade. So we do not want to have that such experience. So that's why we are more emphasizing more on this attendance. Even we have gone up to the extent that we can become more flexible, and we have agreed to start the lectures even at 7:30. As far as this online discussion is concerned, we are going to have it around 7:30. So therefore it's a quite flexible time for you. So you have plenty of time to go to your residence, the places where you live, and you can get ready for the learning experience. So therefore we are that much of flexible. So therefore it's your responsibility to maintain the required level of attendance. Please ensure that. So the other things you may read and understand. And also as far as the discipline is concerned, yes, so you're supposed to be self-disciplined, and so in fact you are quite disciplined. So that is our experience throughout the past decade. So that is our experience. So please keep that particular momentum going on. So it is about the course outline. So if you have anything to get clarified, yes, now it is time to get the things clarified before we move on to the today's discussion. Yes, you can take some time and you can